What you're looking at here is the Rock and Roller R12 cart. It's a production cart that I use in the studio, and I take it on jobs to move a bunch of gear around. Well, today I want to build a shelf for the top. Now, there's a bunch of different ways you can do this. There's a bunch of different videos out there, what people have done, but it feels like they've kind of over-engineered it. I'm going to make it really, really simple because I'm simple and I'm lazy. And I just want something to work because I have a job next week that's going to need me to tether and shoot to a laptop in a lot of different environments. And I want to be able to have a rolling production stand with me. So what we're going to do today is see if we can't turn this rolling cart into something that is easy for me to manage on set, as well as have a place for my laptop and my hard drives and other miscellaneous little gear. So let's go. All right, so you're looking at all this stuff and you're going, what is all of this? Well, this is really probably more equipment than I need to do what I want to do. This piece of wood really is just a standard, 1x12 piece of lumber that I had left over from a couple of different projects. And what I'm going to do is take this so that it fits down on these metal rods. It slides through the arms and it just rests right there. But I'm going to be cutting a notch on either side so that it doesn't wobble back and forth. It doesn't have the chance to move. So if we're looking at these uprights, right, and on the cart, you pull a little cable down here and these slide up and down. Now, the interesting thing is they wobble when they're upright, right? So the first thing is to figure out how do we keep these arms stable and upright so that they stay kind of in a locked position and limit as much movement as possible. The second thing is how do we support that board? Now, what I have here is just a piece of 5/16 12, it's like a 1 foot piece, 12 inches of 18 gauge threaded rod. I was able to get that because the cart itself, these arms are about 9 3/4 inches, 9 5/16 wide on the interior. I wanted something that would fit through these little holes, and then I've just got wing nuts to secure it. Super simple, really stable, steel rod. It's not going to go anywhere. So my goal is to set the wood right down on this so that it can't slide side to side off the top, and it has something to clamp onto. Now, one of the things that I've been thinking about back and forth over and over and over is using a piece. I have, again, this old piece of molding from when I was renovating my house, and it's basically rail. It's got a small channel in the middle. And I thought about using this as a cleat on the bottom of the board to rest on the bar so that it doesn't slide back and forth. Now, the more I thought about it, I'm like, that might be overcomplicating it. What if I just cut a notch into the piece of wood so that I could slide it up in between this, thread the rod underneath it, and support it, right? It's all about ease of moving things around and portability. So all I'm going to do is measure how wide this is, cut a notch in it, take this threaded bar out, slide the piece into place, put the threaded bar back in, and then it should be rinse and repeat on both ends. Once I have that, then it should be a pretty stable platform. But in order for me to get the right measurements, what I've got to do is get these uprights to stay exactly where they are, so I know exactly where to make the notch on the piece of board. I'm going to use a simple ratchet strap because this I can tension as much or as little as I want. Let's slide this through. Again, I'm just looking for this to not move so I can get good measurements so that these are as upright as they can be, solid as they can be. Cool. Don't have to overdo it. Just make it so that it doesn't move. Now these have a lot less play in them. First, take outside measurements to figure out where the outside of this is. And we're looking at 50, 51 5/8 on the outside. The inside is 50 1/8. It's 51 5/8 from the exterior and 50 1/8 from the interior. We're measuring for 2 poles, right? So if that means that we're 1.5 inches long, right? 51 5/8 minus 50 1/8 is another 1.5 inches. So you cut that in half and it's 3/4 inches, and that's 3/4 of an inch is how wide each post is. Oh my God, math works. So if that's the case, and we've got 65 inches in length, which is just an arbitrary length, there's no real reason for that, but it's got a nice little bit of overhang. If we have 51 5/8 to the exterior, let's call that 51 1/2, which would mean 65 minus 51 1/2 is going to be 13 1/2. Cut that in half, and you're looking at what? 6 1/2, 6 3/4 over each side. And that's about what we got. 6 3/4. And then let's see, on this side, we got just about 6 3/4. Then what we have to do is just make sure that we're covering off on how wide the interior is. So even between these, it's not the same. It's off by a 1/2 inch on these. So we're looking at 9 and yeah, basically 3/8 strong, 3/8, almost 9 1/2. And then this side is a little over 9 1/2. So we're looking at 9 5/8. So slightly different, but it shouldn't change the fact that the notches need to be as wide as this, which is going to be 3/4. Stick our square. So there's the exterior line. Now we're going to come in 3/4 of an inch on that. We go 3/4 from there. There we go. So let's go a little bit stronger than 3/4. Doing 3/4. I'm not messing with circular saws. I'm not messing with table saws or jigsaws. I'm just going to use a cut out the notch real quick, see how it fits. So all I want to do is make sure that this notch, yeah, that's going to be great. Let's make the rest of these cuts. Then we'll do a dry fit and kind of see what we have to clean up. We're just about there. Remember, there's going to be a little bit of play in these arms. So if the cuts aren't perfect, I'm perfectly okay with that. Perfection is the enemy of done. Looks like I'll probably have to shave a little bit off some of the interior corners, but what I'm going to do is take off one of these threaded rods right now and just see if I can kind of squeeze it in there and what might need to happen. Can it move back and forth? Absolutely. Can it move this way? Absolutely not. Because those notches now keep everything locked in place. So you can see that, no. Is this perfect? No. Did I go too deep? Yes. But I needed to be able to show that I could slide it sideways and have myself give myself a little bit of play on either side. You know, this is going to be the failure point, so I'm not going to use a ton of weight on top of this. If I were to leave it like this, I'd be perfectly happy. Now, I'm putting a lot of weight on this, and my laptop is not going to be putting this much weight on it. So for something like this, that should be all I need for next week. I can do a couple of things. I can put a small A-clamp on either side to keep it from sliding, which is probably what I'll do. There it is. So next time you see this, I'll clean it up. That didn't take too long. A couple of notches and a couple of measurements, a little bit of math, and we're good to go. The other thing that I can do is put a piece like this, since it actually fits pretty well, put a piece like this as a guardrail on either side to keep stuff from rolling off. So maybe that's what I'll do. And if you happen to build something like this on your own, I'd love to know how you did it and what you came up with. Super simple, one piece of wood, 2 pieces of threaded rod, a couple of wing nuts, and a little bit of time. Start to finish was, I don't know, what, 20 minutes? So there you go, shelf. Oh, my old girl. She is 45 pounds. There it is. What do you think about that? Huh? Nice little perch. You thinking? You good? All right. I think this might be the thumbnail. Good to go. Let's check you for ticks. You got any ticks on you, babe? Thanks. Good. All right. All right. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Good girl. There you go.